Hey everybody and welcome to Bandite's Let's Sculpt January day 22. The topic is worn, so we're gonna do something funky with that. Let me just check the mic, that's okay. How's everybody doing? I know I'm a bit early, but I have some other stuff to do today. So starting early and finishing early. So what are we gonna do today? Topic is worn, and I already kind of have an idea, but I don't know how far I'm gonna stretch that idea. I'm gonna turn on symmetry for now. Okay. So I kind of want to make a pose. Because I saw a picture earlier, but I will need good reference for this. Just gonna go this one. I have this problem with Pinterest that a lot of pins suddenly don't show related pins, which is a problem. Because that's my main. Okay, I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. There we go. Do we have related? This is a pin. Okay. Yeah. Ah, I don't have any related pins anymore. Yeah, okay. So what I'll do is I'm just gonna try it and let's see what comes from it. So I kind of want to make 3 objects. I want to make the torso of a woman because I want to practice more on that. My follow is still on. This will be the hip, kinda. All right. Kind of a back-leaning pose, and then I want to copy that up here to some this distance, and that'll be the torso. I'm just gonna pull this down. There we go. It's actually a nice shape. And there we go. And then I want to give it another object. I don't know how far I want to push this, because I've had bad experiences with making too much. Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. Is my stream okay? Yes. Because if I don't have good reference for this, it's not gonna make much sense for me to make it. Kind of wanna like have like, oh, there we go. Never mind, I have reference. I'm gonna save this real quick as well, so we don't lose it. Cool. So basically, what I want as well is to have some kind of cylinder for the arms. Where one arm is protruding like this. And one arm is protruding like this. Hey Peter, good afternoon. How you doing? Push them a little bit closer together. So yeah, this function is go a little bit more forward. There you go. A little bit more V-shape. Just one a little bit more forward. This one a little bit more back. I'm not going for a full body, so I'm gonna stop the things here. I might even like push this in, and I might do like the hint of a neck. Well, not a hint. I'm just gonna do the neck, so I'm not gonna go full body. And then what I want to add, or rather not add, but I'm just gonna join up the arms with the body already for a very good reason. So I'm just gonna remesh this. We can smooth this out. So everything under the arms. Yeah, we might not bother with symmetry at all for this one. Because the way this pose kind of, I don't want to fidget around with the just gonna rotate this a little bit to the extreme here, just so we have like a good base to work with. Of course, the thing here is a solid object. Yeah, okay, let's go back for a second. So now just trying to figure out the shape and the form of everything, right? Just gonna go back to my reference images of the body, of the anatomy. So yeah, the ribs go higher, definitely. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go. We're gonna do a little bit more of a traditional sculpt today, so a little bit less symmetry and stuff, and a little bit more, you know, traditional sculpting. Let's see where we go from there, right? Remesh. It takes a while for some reason. Okay, so we already got 1 million polys, so that's fine and dandy. Don't want to go too high poly yet on this. Kind of want to check out the shapes first. This is a little bit too. Whoops! What happened here? I think I went a little bit too much. Let's go to 1.15. It's also smooth and normals. Oh, I'm gonna uncheck preserve paint mask because I don't need that. I might have a little bit too much. Yeah. So the main thing I want to achieve here is the stretch of the body here and kind of the line and how that goes. Did I join up? Nope. Do it again. It's hard to find poses with the arms up. Go for this one a little bit. Okay, so let's get the show on the road. Let's get the hips in here. So definitely push it a little bit more in. And the hips are gonna go a little bit to this shape more. There we go. Of course, you want to make the butt. Oh, that was a bit sloppy. Just indicating the butt cheeks at the moment. And then we kind of want to hint at the position of the leg. So the arms go, you like stretch the arms a little bit this way more. I might already kind of cut away at them because it's going to be distracting. It's kind of weird. I'm just gonna push them in. Can smooth it out later. Kind of inflate this. It kind of looks weird at the moment, but now I'm just trying to get the shape in there, force the shape in there really. That I want in here. I'll push this in. Looking from far away, so I can kind of see the total shape of it from all sides. Remesh again for a second. That's a nice crack. Yeah. I still have to kind of make this anatomically correct, right? So I'm just gonna use the rake brush now to start smoothing out these surfaces. I'm gonna use a rake brush to kind of get rid of this weird edge here. Kind of push this in. Cool. Yeah. So now I really want to simplify this to something anatomically a little bit more correct. So. And we're a little bit, man, why every time I start doing something like this, why do I do this even? Okay, see, I can get a little bit more back to her. So yeah, as always, because this might be a little bit more realistic, but the same rules apply. I do wanna like already kind of, my spacing sucks. Damn it, sculpting. Stroke spacing at 5%. It's a normal crease brush, right? Yeah. Don't wanna. I already want to put the line of action in here a little bit, well, the back line, and that'll give me kind of a guide of how the symmetry should go a little bit better. I want to do the same at the front because that's not going to be super visible at the end, but it's like. And kind of, I can go check like, oh, does that make sense, right? And I see like, no, the middle of the rib cage. The rib cage is one object, so kind of want that to be, no. And then of course the rib cage, which is always higher than I think it is. I always like forget where it is. Oh, come on. It's about here. No expert on anatomy. Not by a long shot, but I do want to kind of get my lines in here. Oh. And then just between the shapes I made, I just want to use a flatten brush to get the basic shape in here, and then we can start like doing the anatomy stuff, you know. Know what I'm saying? And better pose. Maybe. Pose arms up. Hello. There we go. Pinterest works again. Man, Oh, there we go. That's a good reference. Okay, cool. So we really want to open up this shape and this shape here. It's gonna be important. Smooth this out. Gotta make the neck a little bit more thin, a little bit more space in between here. Maybe use the deflate brush to quickly do that. Cool. And it'll fix itself with the next remesh. These images are so small, come on. It might be a good one. Okay, yeah. So I just want to oops, that's still on the rubble brush. Just want the clay strips. I might even want to have the better clay strips. Yeah, there we go. I just want to over exaggerate like where these lines go for a second, right? Just so we get a good. I'll also spend some time on the. Yeah, so. What am I doing? Definitely want that. This might even go a little bit more like this. And yeah, definitely need to define the legs a little bit better. Let's just pretend they go this way and this way. Pull this up, pull this down. We're gonna keep this PG-13. I need more reference. Let's see here. That is fake. I couldn't get when you look for reference, most of it is like crude line drawings because like I'll have to look for photo reference. There we go. Yeah, so still very crude. I kind of want to resize the line here a bit more. I know this looks ridiculous at the moment, but I'm just gonna flatten this out. Keep the main shape, but you know, see how we can make this more symmetrical. This little part is ridiculous. Really simplify it before we start to bring in texture here. So I'm gonna flatten this out. Gonna flatten this out. And I really try to make a minimalistic image. I'm just gonna force this line in here a little bit. Bring it down. Okay, shape is getting there. Kind of want to find a little bit, not too much the butt cheeks, especially on this side because this one is a little bit more stretched. Then again, we can do these, and I'm already gonna rake that we can really see where the leg goes, kind of by scraping it away. Now, this looks more like a man's body than a woman's body at the moment. So I might, yeah, there's a bit too much muscle here. Well, undefined muscle, but still it's a little bit too I mean, you could make a masculine pose. But no, let me do what I intend to do instead of being weak. Oh boy, that's not good. That's cool. That's very cool. What the hell is happening here? Hey, Citriano, how you doing? And hey, Ranich, how you doing? I want to remesh already. Oh, this might be a good reference, yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna start putting a little bit more of a womanly shape in here. This shape. That'll help. Too much. This needs also to move up because we have these shapes kind of here, kind of move around actually. I'm seeing that that might all go a little bit lower. Simplify. Correct shapes in here. Not using roughing out. Yeah, and then like zooming out more. I see like. I can make it as small as possible, and then you start adjusting it by tiny margins. More important to get the shape rough in here, and then after that worry about the details. Because I see people like at this phase already like drawing abs. Yeah, very cool. But it's like, I mean, drawing in the body button can kind of help convey where everything is, the symmetry again. Like, but I shouldn't do that with. I should really do that with the line here. Let's see if everything is in the correct place. Like, that line kind of sucked. Go like this, and of course, like what I'm missing here is a little bit of. Now if I want to imply that this shape stops here, I should really do that. And there we go. Very nice. Now flatten that out. And now it should be a little bit higher. And then also put it a little bit more here. Pull it a little bit back here. Out a little bit. A nice curve in here. And that starts to look like something, you know. Bring the back muscles a little bit more. I mean, you can worry about the definition of the muscles later. The Baron 2.81 got better than, yeah, so I'm using 2.83 even. Because it looks really smooth. It's not smooth because it's better. It's smooth because I want it to look smooth. I mean, I've not used anything from 2.83 exclusive yet. So if this is more forward, then this should be more forward, right? Can I also go a little bit more inwards? I feel like the back muscles are all too low. This entire part is a little bit too low here. And then kind of readjust. I think the shoulders can kind of protrude a little bit more. Yeah, bring the shape a little bit in here. And just pushing it around so I can find the correct shapes. I kind of bring this line in here for the shoulders. This as well. I maybe bring the arms a little bit to a better position because they suck at the moment. There we go. There we go. It's already way better. Oof. Looking for now from above. There should be no seam here. Start defining some lines in here. The collarbone. See where that goes. That really like jumps up because of the shoulders. So I want to flatten this out, and also flatten this shape out. There we go. So it becomes nice. It's like always use a flatten brush if everything's too blobby, because I see people like too much, like for instance here, like these lines, these very subtle lines, if you see them here, it's kind of like it used to be my instinct, I'm just gonna leave them because they kind of look cool, but now I'm like, no, I want my rough shape to be correct first before I start adding in menial details of things I don't need at the moment. Okay, kind of, oops. I mean, it's not laggy. Well, I mean, that could be because of my computer. I don't know. I don't know why that's the case, to be honest. It's kind of like... Okay, so let's bring in some shapes in here that I want. Like I'm searching for a girl back anatomy, and the first thing I get is the front of a male. Maybe back muscles will give me a better result here. Yeah, kind of. Okay, so I just want to copy the lines here, basically. I kind of want to see where the shoulders are here, then draw this muscle out. Right, that kind of goes a little bit higher. Keep it anatomically a little bit correct. It doesn't have to be 100%, but this, there's line here that kind of goes until we have these muscles, the butt cheeks, and then we kind of have a line here. I mean, you won't see this like in the end result, but it helps me. Like for instance, now I can see that now this has to be more stretched toward here, right? I can also reaffirm the middle line a little bit here, and just to see that everything's symmetrical, but everything is also stretching to the correct part, and everything is kind of in the right place. Like this has to be kind of go out there a little bit more. Just gonna define the butt a little bit better. The butt, he touched the butt. I want to do the same on the front. You know while I get this, okay. Front muscles, muscles. It's just a standard human, but I would rather have like maybe muscles girl a little bit more. That's all the fitness girls. Muscles girls reference. Man, I got an update. What are your specs? A 970 RTX card and a i5 CPU Intel on a I think ASRock motherboard. It's like just a standard computer. Your standard, a little bit more expensive computer, I guess. There we go. I'll go with this picture. Okay, so we do have to kind of define a little bit the naughty areas here. I'm gonna cover that up with some underpants later on, but talking about naughty bit. I went to because I got an update that can I have the body button here, so we kind of have this shape in here and here. That DeviantArt had like a whole update. They kind of revamped their entire website. I was like, okay, sure, let me check it out. And I mean, it's a new website, but it's still the same old garbage. Sorry for anybody who's watching who's on DeviantArt, but man, that is... Yeah, so now I kind of see that these kind of has to be lower. And I know this part is protrudes. That's the correct word, by the way. I was writing earlier and I was like, yeah, I know the word protrude. So something protruding, like my nose protrudes from my face. But then like the spell checker checked in and was like, no, it's protrude. And I was like, nah. And I googled it and I was like, oh my god, it is. I just like here the muscles don't make a lot of sense because I knew that this muscle, there's a muscle that goes like this, and there's a lot of muscles that go like these. It's all fine and dandy. Oops. I'm not gonna count how many because that's a little bit less relevant as long as I can see. And I know this is stretched, so I kind of want to have this a little bit straighter, but still like the. But yeah, something is wrong here for sure. I think I kind of have to push this in. Kind of this whole area has to be a little bit more. This is a bit too sharp of an edge, and this part is mainly like round. The leg, it's a little bit, it's like an oval, so I kind of want to check this as a reference for if I'm attaining the right shape. I see that they're kind of the same size here. It's a little bit thicker, so it should be straight. I'm thinking like, should this all be lower? It's like, I think this should also like be pointing up a little bit more. I have to kind of flatten this out a little bit because it's messing with my head a little bit. Yeah, because this is protruding in kind of a weird way. Protruding. I think this has to be much lower here. Because what happens if you pull your shoulder up is that the back of your shoulder that's here on top actually moves to the back. So, and actually creates a crease here, right? So you'll get a crease here, and actually your shoulder blades kind of push together, I think. Right? And I think like here I'm just gonna start scraping away, scraping away a little bit more here, because I don't want to mess with that arm too much. So I just want to start with this arm here. Just gonna smooth it out. And use a flatten brush again to really get the shapes in here. Kind of want to line this a little bit better. Whoops, there goes the neck. It's kind of the disadvantage of working rough, but with these kind of small protrusions. I'm just gonna remesh. Yeah, it is protrude. It's weird, right? Because every time I hear somebody, like even native speakers, say the word protrude, they say protrude, but it's protrude. But I guess maybe it's just like you pronounce it protrude, but it writes differently. But it's definitely something that weirded me out. Just gonna define the necklines here. I'm just defining like the main lines that you kind of see, just so. Just kind of like my other reference here. I set that like. Oh wait, I found a nice reference here. Although, oh no, wait. Oh, I found the perfect reference. There we go. Okay, so the back. I think I want to define this. This a little bit more. And like this muscle that I defined here goes a little bit more like this. We don't have to make her super muscular, but define the muscles bring in so much realism. And then of course we have these muscles still. And like the shoulder blades are not really even visible from this position, so I'm just gonna flatten them out. But I think these might even be the shoulder blades. That's where my anatomy knowledge kind of stops. Which height is this? So we have these things actually going a little like this, and then this should be way closer. It should all be a little bit closer, a little bit thinner. Not too thin though. Like we have something like this. Sure. Okay. Whoops. It wasn't a flatten brush. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of flatten it a little bit out, just so you see a hint of what we've done. And I'm gonna redefine this a little bit. So here. I think if I define, yeah, there we go. Like this, from the front, the anatomy looks kind of good, but from the back, this all looks kind of whack. So I'm just gonna reshape this at the back. And I think that's just because you don't see it from the front. But I still want this to be kind of correct, right? All right. Here we go. I mean, not done, but kind of want to reinforce the shape a little bit here. I'm already gonna reposition the leg a little bit because I'm gonna scrape it like at the end, but I want it to kind of like she's walking forward, right? Then I kind of already need the shape in here. I always said protrude up till now. It does sound weird now. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. That's life now. So what I'm gonna do now is kind of flatten all of this until it's only barely visible. And we can start in putting some shapes actually in there. I'm gonna put my flatten brush too high because too big, because I still want to retain the shape a little bit. And one more thing I kind of want to define in here is kind of these, because that was too much. Yeah, there, it's better. Let's see. Start here. Really get the shape of the neck in here. And then we can kind of forcefully bring these shapes in here, and then kind of flatten it out, smoothen it out. Yeah. So we're gonna do that so that the shape is in there, but you know, it's all blobby like this. course, like every body, like literally body, the word body, is a little bit different. So looking at too much different references might like give me a weird image of how it should be. This really is a C. I'm just gonna put this back on smooth, so I can drag along a little bit more of my shape here. Okay. I really want to get this shape going, so I'm just gonna force. I might rake it even, just to get. I want. Pull this one out a little bit, like this, yeah. And make this one shape here. Oof, inflate brush, yeah. And then maybe I even want to overdo this shape, right? Just so we can see what I mean here. So there we go. And then we kind of have this seam going here, and that'll define the position of the. So you see what I mean, right? So we're gonna do the same here, and have this here. And then like defining the breast and all that. Be a lot easier. So this has to go a little bit more like this. It's coming nicely together, I think. Definitely here is a weird blob. Can do without. Flatten this out again, because this is one shape. Again, I don't want to do too much of the. So again, gonna flatten this out. It's not about adding detail at this point. It's really about getting these lines in. I'd even rethink my shape, because I know the ribcage goes quite a long way down at the sides. I always underestimate that, but there we go. All right, okay, I'm gonna just remesh this. Protrude. Sorry. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is kind of forcefully apply my style here. So I'm just gonna rake out these shapes so we don't have any definition going on here, right? So I'm just gonna. I'm gonna try not to rake away too much of the volume, but just so we now get a nice smooth shape. There we go. Rake away at this a little bit. Like make everything nice and smooth. And then from then we can start. Now we also see like where the shape is still a little bit wonky. And then from there on we can start defining our sculpt more. We have a little bit more butt on this side. Don't want to create a bubble butt, but you know, because the leg is back, it's gonna kind of push this one even a little bit and kind of redefine this a little bit. Kind of see like, but no. It's good anatomy practice. as always, I really want to put my curves correctly in here. Man, this kind of still looks weird, doesn't it? Push this in. Yeah, I think I pushed this in. There we go. It's better. Because now I get to look at the bigger shape again. And round this out. Just wanna scrape away at anything that might distract me. Smooth out. Even this. Cool. Okay. Now, yes, this is definitely better now. I just made the body a little bit too broad some places. I think that was okay. I think this needs to be pushed in a little bit. Because I do want to kind of go a little bit for the stylized look, right? So, all right. So what we want to do with this, because and I want to add another object, right? And now this is the part where I have a mental breakdown, probably. I need to be done by 3, by the way. There's no other way to put it. This needs to be done by 3. I don't have too much time to. I wanted to start even earlier, but yeah, don't know what happened there. Okay, so what I want to do is kind of define a top here, like cloth, right? I want to cover her up so I still get monetized, you know. And I think like I'm gonna carve the edges a bit away here. Not just a top, like a top that was worn and is now being unworn, if you get my meaning. So we're just gonna pull this over here. And what I really don't want to do is start sculpting hands, but that might be necessary for this one. I don't know. So okay, fudged up here. So I kind of want to keep the hard edge on the bottom, but yeah, we might need to redo that later anyway. I'm just gonna flatten this here, flatten it here. We can remesh this for a hot second. And pull this down here, pull it up here. Right. I mean, the messages might kind of get lost. What I'm trying to do here just by stretching this is already kind of gets a little bit this cloth feel, you know. Just checking out where the body starts and ends. Here I'm gonna let it hang. As well as here. It hangs down. Gravity doing its job. And then again, flatten brush. Pull away the small details. I kind of want to keep this though. And then here, we do need to kind of define like a hole in here. Yeah, I have the reference for this. I've got a bit of a fake reference. gonna have a nice seam here, but I'm just gonna remove it because I don't feel like I can always redo it later. Don't wanna focus on detail now. I'd rather remove the details so I can focus on the bigger picture. Just gonna remesh for a second. There you go. Where else was that? Like this. I'm just gonna focus on this for a second because I think, yeah, I'm gonna have to blow this up here. Just gonna remesh again. A couple of remeshes here. I should have like made a better base shape, I guess, but can't be but that. I think the rake brush will do fine work here though. Yeah, there we go. Rake that away. Rake it away. In front of your shins and you can run just brown. Okay, let's go back here. Really wrap this around the arm. When you like pull it. Yeah, might do a little bit of a different thing here because I think without hands, then it's gonna kind of look weird. If I just stop there. Creative choices, you know. Use a flatten brush. Trying to get the shape in here. I already kind of see that. Oops. There's going to be a seam here. And then really, if you want this to be gravity pulled, kind of really want to flatten this out. A bigger shape. Pull this out again. Even rake it, you know, so that we are sure this is one. Nice. Might use the electric boogaloo here. What's it called? Not the thumb. This one. Make a brush super small. Not too small. Okay. Do that. Okay, cool. I already found a little bit of place for the boobies, the breasts, the bosom, you know. Not too much. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna go in here. I might just very lightly imply the being there of a. I might not even like seam this or no. It's fine enough. Kind of start defining the lines that I see here. This is gonna be a little bit of a subtle job. Just gonna really quickly put the belly button in here again because my love has got humor. See, like, since we'll put in. I'm gonna remove this line again. Pull this out a little bit. Pull this up here. Can use a rake brush. Can get a shape in here, right? She used to giggle at a funeral. Everybody disapproval. Should have worshipped her sooner. I was born sick, curse you. I don't know the lines. Oh my God. God offers no absolutes, I think it goes. I know how to play it on the guitar, but the only heaven I'll be sent to, so when I'm alone with you, or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. I was born sick, you heard me say it. Come on, me to be well. Take me to church. I'm not gonna go that high. It's like, take me to church. Can't do that. Like songs that end up too high for me, I just start singing and Julie will finish most of the song. She loves singing, so. Does it make sense, or should I? Whoops, edit, redo. A bit more like this, right? I just want to create some realistic creases here without making it look like some weird stuff. There's definitely something weird going on here. I think in the back, like, I need to still have this line. That's not correct, yeah. So I kind of need to push this back, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna, like, get some basic position of the breast in here. Stop here. From top view, I kind of see what I was doing wrong. You can kind of see that these don't really match up, so I'm just gonna force it back a little bit and then fix my mistakes here. Okay, cool, very cool. Yeah, the breasts are very, because arms are lifted up, are very stretched, so I want to emphasize that. Of course there's cloth above it, but you know, if my basic shape's not right, the cloth's not going to look great either. Just wondering, where are you from? Belgium, because you sound like an English native speaker and at the same time live in Belgium, don't you? So yeah, there's a bit of a weird history behind that. I am bilingual. That's not super weird. My mom, I like in my youth, I actually heard the same amount of German as I did Dutch, and I kind of had to learn German as well. Flatten this out, make it a little bit more symmetrical. It's kind of good exercise. This. I don't like how the butt looks at the moment. Pinch. I mean, I can already put the underwear in there just to have some sort of reference there. No, I don't have to like fiddle around with with a butt crack you're not even gonna see, right? So it's gonna be flat. I'm gonna use this brush here to fill this up. So yeah, I learned Dutch and German at about the same time, and that kind of, I don't know if like my accent. A lot of people in Belgium actually talk. I think that's more the reason why I mean, I've been on YouTube for a while as well, right? So, and also for my job and connections and international friends. I think a combination of all that kind of made my English pretty good. But I also think like in Belgium we don't translate movies and it's a weird bulge. What I kind of want to. Yeah, we don't translate. I know I'm kind of doing this a little bit extreme. Protruding. Fuck me. But that's because like I kind of want to use a rake brush to kind of flatten this out and then kind of taking away from the volume again. But yeah, this is a little bit extreme. Just gonna pinch brush to get this together. It's PG-13. I should look up reference for this actually, because I think it's kind of, yeah. Panties. Let's hope Julie doesn't walk in on me. Just kidding. Yeah, these definitely go a little bit more up here. This will help with the definition of everything. Yeah, there we go. I don't have to wonder about the dirty bits. I don't have to worry about YouTube demonetizing me. Just a little bit, hey. What you gonna do? Yeah, so finish my thought. I have problems with that. I don't. It doesn't really matter, but I kind of want the shape here to be correct. So we don't translate movies except for like really children's shows. We don't do that in Belgium. So we see a lot of stuff in English with Dutch subtitles, or the annoying thing they do in this in the cinema here, Dutch and French subtitles, which I really don't like. Because the thing is, Belgium is also a bilingual country. Like half of the population here talks French, and the other half talks Dutch. So I get why they do that, like in Brussels, where there's really a different population. But I stopped reading subtitles just because of that reason. Because in cinema, you get like the two subtitles under each other, and then you get the reflex from. Because like at home, I still watch things with subtitles. Because I mean, for like normal shows, I don't need them. But man, if I watch Peaky Blinders or like something with Tom Hardy, anything with Tom Hardy, I need subtitles just because they are not the. I've given her a diaper, Jesus, but that'll be okay. I'm just gonna make this less protruding. I mean even like, yeah. This should definitely have a little bit of a curve in here, right? I might give up on this one. This was not a good idea to sculpt. I don't have enough. How do you say? Experience on anatomy stuff. Oops. So doing this is a little bit ish. I'm kind of not being happy with the main shape again, and kind of have to redo it. And yeah, this is why I don't do bodies. I should learn them though. This is definitely like some sort of practice. I'm just gonna I'm just going back to the roots for a couple of these parts. I definitely feel like we could make it this super stylized, of course. I'm kind of inclined to, because I don't have much time left, and detailing this piece will be hard enough as it is. So I'm just gonna start bringing in very basic shapes, very basic curves that I want in here. I think this is fine. I want to protrude it and kind of bring in this crease here. That looks fine. This starts to look pretty good. It's going to be more of a sculpture thing. I can't be bothered. That's the simple truth. Yeah. It's not me being super lazy or giving up, but I'm gonna do a whole series just me trying to sculpt anatomy. And I think the smarter thing is to start with males, because man, getting the female form right and at the same time maintaining some sort of visual interesting things happen, you know what I mean, is so hard. So I'm gonna make this super stylized just to prove a point. But then, you know, I'm looking at reference, I'm just looking at the form, and I think if I get the form down, at least, you know, we learned something today. This is some bad reference, damn. I should look at this on Pinterest. Hell yeah, X-Men back in the days. Learn proper English before Dutch. Yeah, basically. Yeah, so that was the thing, like even X-Men and Action Man on like Cartoon Network and stuff in the Netherlands was, because I lived in the Netherlands as well before I moved to Belgium again. I'm originally Belgian, but then my parents kind of moved to Holland for a while, so it was fun. Just trying to make smart moves here. I'll flatten it out. I'll flatten this a little bit out. Does this make sense? Sure. Simple shapes, even like just scrape this to a point. Kind of looks nice. Kind of embodies the female figure. Like, because for SculptJanuary I rather have something a little bit more cleanly wrapped up than something uber detailed but messy. You know what I mean? Yeah, because like even my parents, they told me that like at a very young age I started talking English, because it's just like you copy things as a kid, and then like if you watch films and series I mean, I have to admit, like, at some point as a kid, I even, like, preferred, like, because Harry Potter came out, and I think the first one you only could see in English, where in the town where I was, but then the second one also came out in Dutch, but I was like, no, I want to watch it in English. But I had, like, two reasons. The first one was that I read the books in German, and in German, like, all the original names are there, so you and what they did in Dutch was actually replace almost all the names with, like, more Dutch sounding alternatives, except for Harry Potter. They didn't replace Harry's name, but they replaced, like, Hermione was like Hermeline, and Ron Weasley was Ron Weasel, and those were, like, easy ones. But Dumbledore became Pergamentus, like a whole different thing, and that bothered me so much that I didn't. I'm gonna make a more abstract piece here. I'm gonna really push the shape here. What I feel. I'm going artist here, but yeah, I know that bothered me, and also because I have to admit, because I thought it was also cooler to kind of watch them in. I'm gonna make it real stylized. I might turn this into a man, because I don't need no woman. It's weird turning that around. But yeah. And I have to admit, like, I kind of thought it was cooler to watch things in English and pretend I was like that I kind of like, yeah, because English is much cooler than Dutch. Because I definitely had, like, people in my life, in my early life, who also were for some reason big defenders of the Dutch language, like not really poets and writers, but fans of poets and writers, and they know poets and writers. And I'm not talking my teen years, right? I came in touch with, like, a lot of. I think, like, there was around the time there was a movement that kind of wanted to get the Dutch language back as a, because they kind of felt it was getting lost in all the English stuff. But if you look at the simple facts, like, the English language has a lot more words than the Dutch language, and it's just much easier to actually say something in English. Because even our D&D campaign, and, you know, at the beginning I thought it was gonna be a little bit cringy, but our D&D campaign, which is entirely comprised of Dutch-speaking people, is in English. Did a Christmas one-shot that was with 2 English speakers, so it kind of made sense to do it in English, but we kind of sometimes discuss things in Dutch because, you know, you can kind of get into your words more. But for what it helps, like, something a friend of mine kind of also. I'm just gonna do this super extreme. I don't even care. I'm gonna make abstract art. But she pointed out that it's kind of easier to roleplay once you change languages. Although I don't feel like that on the channel, but it's kind of weird how that works, because if you start talking another language, you kind of start talking differently, and you look more to fiction references to kind of. I'm turning this into something crazy. I guess there should be one shape here. I'm still trying to figure out the shapes here a little bit, and having this make sense and stuff, you know. Flatten this out. Also, kind of have to remesh it once. Hello, Jace. How you doing? Just because it's the original. I don't like dubs, man. Oh yeah, that's also another thing. Dubs and Dutch are never good quality. So that's mainly the reason nowadays. Because as a child, I would, like, not notice the difference. Also, there was this. It took a while for Belgium to have their own dubbing company, I guess. if you could say it like this. Because, man, have I watched a lot of movies, like forcefully, of course, because my mom was like, yeah. They bought videotapes. My grandma had videotapes. They were all in Dutch, but they weren't in Flemish. They were in a very thick Dutch accent. So, and I think the only people who can relate to this are, it's like, I think like American people. I don't know. Are there? I mean, Harry Potter is British, and I think as an American, if you watch Harry Potter, it's like, okay, you kind of feel that it's in Britain, right? It's kind of like, okay, it's a British show. And I've never like talked to anybody about this or how this really would like translate to that. But just imagine that you watch something in a native language that is originally a native language, like a Chinese movie, and for some reason the dub is like all in this thick New York accent, or this Texas accent. Let's go with Texas here because it's even more like ridiculous. Then would that like be bothersome? Because I feel like, and I think that's kind of that's how you can imagine how Belgians and Dutch people can experience this. Because I think Belgian people have more of a problem with the Dutch accent than Dutch people have with the Flemish accent. I even like heard Dutch people say that the Flemish accent actually sounds nicer than the Dutch one, though don't quote me on that. It's like a couple of people, like friends of mine and such. The Dutch language, the Dutch accent of, well, like, because there's also like in the countries there's very different accents. It kind of baffles me how many different accents and Dutch has. So there's the three main ones. So you have Dutch, Netherlands Dutch, you have Flemish Dutch, and then you have the South African Dutch. The South African Dutch is really derivative. It's like you can kind of like, for instance, Rico Killier, who's a South African. If he talks South African to me, I can kind of understand him. If I talk Dutch to him, he said he can't really make out what I'm saying. He can understand some words, but because it's in some weird way a very simplified version of Dutch, but then they kind of made it to a full language again, but with their own words, or their native like African words. And that way it became its own language. But I think it's easier for somebody from Belgium or the Netherlands to kind of dissect what they're saying than vice versa. But I mean, that might be a very specific case. But then in Belgium, and like there's in the Netherlands, in Groningen, I think it is, they have their own language, and it's just for a small province, and that is so crazy. I've heard them talk it. I can't understand it. It's a form of Dutch, I guess, but it's so crazy. It's I don't even understand it, because it's different like dialects, right? And that dialect is just so out there that I cannot understand it. Like, it's crazy. I don't know why I chose to push this. And I'm kind of liking where this is going, actually. It's a lot more stylized, but hey, just trying to get the right shapes in here. Maybe this we can even stylize a little bit further with the sharp, like just by getting a little bit these clawed shapes in there, but although that might kind of defeat the purpose as well a bit, so. I kind of have to look at my reference again. Where is it? Okay. This would have been a nice reference, but it's the smallest of images. Oh, come on. No, no, no. Oh my god. Okay. Whatever. Oh man. This is why I love Pinterest more than Google for images. Like for artists, it's definitely better to look up your reference on Pinterest, I feel. You're forgetting West Flemish. Yeah, so I don't know if you're from the West Flanders, but or have I forgotten who Praetor is? Are you one of my friends? Well, you're all my friends, of course, but are you one of my real life friends? I always forget pseudonyms, and I also forget names, just general names. I'm sometimes like, hey, you, and then she gets all angry and is like, I'm your girlfriend. I'm like, yes, honey, what's my name? And I'm like, babe. That's what I always call you. Yeah. I've never forgotten Julie's name, I think. Man, I'm playing a lot of cloud reference here, but okay, let's just try. Definitely want a little bit of a seam here. Pull this out. Pull this. And maybe just want to, you know, get these shapes a little bit better in there. But yeah, in Belgium there's, I know this is a bit better than the Dutch dialects, but the Belgian dialects are crazy. Like you go over one border here and from one town to the other, and suddenly like you don't understand anybody anymore. Okay, maybe it's not that extreme, but still, it's pretty out there. It's like I'm originally from a town in the middle of Flanders, so. And this might be a little bit too assuming, but I feel like I speak the most standard of Flemish, but also because like I wasn't raised really in Flanders, and I had a lot of Dutch friends and German coming in together. I never really developed a hard dialect of one sort or the other. So I kind of felt always I talked a little bit more standard Flemish. That's still a little bit different from standard Dutch. Yeah, that was, I mean, it's kind of crazy. You have like, I'm just gonna push these together. I'm just gonna make this super smooth using the pinch brush. Yeah. I can put in some details, and I'll have to kind of round off this session. I'm just gonna remesh real quick. But like the West Flanders, so Flanders is about the size of, like, it's not even, I think it's about the size of a big lake in America, or it's about the size of like south, like half of England, like the province England, like the, not the province, the one of the kingdoms, because it's the United Kingdoms, but it's not the kingdom. Britain is weird. So England, not Britain. So this is a nice little touch here. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish this up. Into object mode, I'm gonna clean this up. So I feel like this needs to be a render though. If I really want to convey that this is an arm. Like sides here. Feels like a pencil at this moment. At this point. What am I saying? Just gonna force this a little bit because this is going nowhere. There we go. That's better. So this, bring in the right shape. this again a little bit. That is coming from the correct angles. Starlight doesn't mean lazy, right? It means that I double check where every line comes from, every line goes. Maybe put that neck a little bit. Okay, so back to the cloth. So I kind of want to make this flatter. I'm going to remove that part. So I'm really sick of it. Bye. Modern problems require modern solutions. Okay, object mode. I know there's this mode where you can switch objects while sculpting, but I don't want to do that for reasons. This. Remesh it again. Come on, stop being such a wiener. What are you doing? Okay, there we go. Okay. I'm gonna make this really sharp. I'm also gonna start putting in these little cloth lines. A little bit heavier on the underside because of gravity. There we go. Follow the shape here. And then back. Gonna put these lines in here. So we have the silhouette a little bit. I'm being too lazy. I feel like that. And we kind of have these stretch marks, could look nice. Gonna have to flatten these a little bit out here to make room for these. Sure. I don't know what to do with this. I'm just gonna clean this up here and there. I kind of like it for what it is. What the? I can do that? It's kind of weird. Okay. Whatever do. Get these final shapes in here. Got a line down here. Now I kind of want to get the flow. Maybe a little. In here. And it starts to look like something cool. I don't like it. a little bit down. Just gonna scrape this a little bit flatter for a nicer shape. Push this outwards. A little bit more of a seam going on here. And kind of putting those edges in here. Oops. Excuse me. A little bit of that. I kind of want to excessively scrape a little bit more of a curve in here. That looks good. And we'll light this real nice. There we go. Time constraints, everybody. Just gonna put the camera where I like it here. This will be one of the more humble creations. 720. At least it fits nicely in the frame. Let's see here. Just let the lighting from. Yep. So I'm just going to delete all but one light. So we can start from the beginning to start lighting this. So because I'm really fan of the shape though, I kind of want to pronounce this a lot with a nice backlight. We can go into some kind of flash tone maybe. I'm gonna skip it. I think one thing I would still, I kind of want to refine a little bit here is the, I'm just going to remesh this to 0.01, because I kind of feel the, kind of itches this. It's not a good itch. I'm just going to flatten. I want to keep the shape, but I kind of want it a little bit cleaner. I'm going to use the pinch brush, but that's not the pinch brush, to get these shapes a little bit smoother. And that's just finesse, you know. And then just from this standpoint, you know, start pulling out a little bit more of these shapes here. Yeah, kind of expression pose here, so cool. Oh, I still have my cloud on. Go to shading, let's go to world. Let's delete this color ramp. Let's see how it looks. That's better. Also turn down the density a little bit. Not too much though. Okay, so I'm gonna like this, sure. Let's see how it looks once I lit it. Let me go back to orange. Kinda like this heavy saturated. Ooh, this might look nice. Kind of want to bleed that over a little bit. So I'm gonna put another light here, but a little softer, you know, a lot less intense. Maybe even shift color hue a little bit to purple. So we got a nice gradient here, nice color gradient. I rotate this a bit. Of course, the other side. I also want to put a nice silhouette. Maybe go to blue-ish. Greenish. duplicate that. Kind of bring in a soft front light and make that neutral. There we go. Then at least the color will look nice. You know, and just a little bit more from the top here. And light as well. Just to accentuate a little bit of the detail here. And maybe even a little bit of the rim light as well. I have a very soft, because now I don't like the ultimate black down here. A little bit of a light coming in, makes it a little bit softer, and we can maybe cool it down to really finish off this gradient. There, at least we made a nice lighting setup. At least I know how to do that. It's kind of a little bit close. Oh yeah, let's put it on 90 millimeters. Actually, pull it farther away. Look, kind of like that. Let's go to 60. I don't want too much perspective. Let's kind of pull the focus on the object here. Just select the object. And with a very simple shape, we tell kind of a story here, right? It's a little bit abstract, but hey, can all be winners. We'll make something more concept art based tomorrow. I am kind of a little bit bothered by this. This little edge here. Kind of just a pinch brush. Maybe even push this a little bit in, not too much. Follow the same curve. There we go. Yeah. Man, sliding makes it so much better. Yeah, I know. Now sliding fixes everything, man. I want to bring this closer, but less extreme. I always forget that I just have to play with these sliders. Whoa, I made it a spotlight. Why would I want to do that? Ooh. Could do something funky here. Blend 0. Bring it forward. I'm gonna see where it's. Oops. Nah. Stop Control Zing. We all know that doesn't work. Bring area light back. It's just a lot softer. So it's just a little bit more on the top than the bottom here. So this nice gradient going on. I think I have to, yeah, put a little bit more too greenish. I don't want to make it too cool, but put the hue on. This is saturation 0. Bring to value. I'm gonna bring it a little bit back here. There we go. Yeah. Cool. I have to go. Do you have any tutorials on it, on lighting? No. Well, there. Yeah, I started a basic lighting course, but then I kind of figured that I didn't have enough experience yet, and I feel like I have a lot of more experience now. So this is the final render. There we go. nice and that needs to be harder. I'll put it on 3000. Maybe put a little bit more behind. Yeah, maybe make this a little bit more intense. Shadow will be shadow, right? Okay, fair enough. But I might redo something like that. I need to clean up the YouTube channel first, because there's a lot of tutorials that are not like applicable anymore, but a lot of people still watch it and then complain that they don't work, and kind of this weird thing going on. So like the flower tutorial is 4 years old. Like there's a lot of better ways to do that now, but people still watch it, and it's like, should I remove it? But then people will not be happy that I removed it. Yeah, but the thing is, there's not too much to tell about lighting. I mean, there's a lot to tell about lighting, but it's all like not in Blender. I would like start talking about lighting in real life. But if you want to check out some really cool lighting techniques, go to Indie Mogul's channel. It's about film lighting. Especially, they just released an episode about The Haunting of Hill House and about how they approach lighting there. And it's really interesting from a technical standpoint, but also from how things are lit. Because how things are lit in real life on set helps us to also kind of replicate that digitally. If that makes sense. But anyway, I want to thank all my Patreons for supporting me. I put a different... I put a new tier in the Patreon. So I should like start a song at this point. I should like play a song, like something funky, you know. But let me just put the render a little bit more to this so you can see it. Yes, I put a new tier in the Patreon. I'm just gonna pull this up. You can now become like for 20. I lowered one of the tiers called Baron. So if you want to become a Baron, if you have a trouble with a certain topic, or like in this case you want to wallpaper Patreon, I should maybe add that. Patreon's got a wallpaper version. That's a good idea. Yeah, but I don't know, like it doesn't seem, maybe one or two could be cool wallpapers, but yeah, I mean, why not, you know. But if you become a Baron, you can send me your artwork or issue. You can just send me your blend file. I'll open it on stream or in a dedicated video, depending on how many streams I'm going to do after January. And I'll talk about it, and I'll notify you when and where I talked about it, and then you can see me like fixing the specific issue that you have to a certain degree. Of course, like somebody in the comments asked me yesterday if I can do tutorials on simulations, like specifically fluid simulations or cloud simulations. That's not really my field of expertise. I can always check like what's going on there, but I'm not gonna make advanced tutorials on that because I don't know enough for that. I know what flip particles are, if you want to check that out. Yeah, and there's also a new goal on the Patreon. If we reach enough, then... Oh my god, what have I done? Oh, the site broke a little bit. If we reach that, then we can... that Patreon is so weird. Like, I don't see any of the normal Patreon stuff anymore when I log in. The homepage is just gone. And it's so weird for me. But anyway, once you reach that goal, it's 150 a month. I will make weekly dedicated tutorials again, because then I can dedicate my time on this. Because now the dedication I put in this channel is about 3 hours a day. The rest, I work on personal projects and freelance stuff and customers, clients, and all that good stuff. But if I make more with YouTube, like making money with the ad is freaking impossible. But then I can, you know, do more if I get more patrons. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Also, what we'll do after Sculpt January. because I'm not gonna do a sculpt every day for the rest of my life. I was looking to the Baron, and I must admit, yeah, I lowered it to 20. But the personal 1 hour talk, I did discuss this with some people, but like I wouldn't know who is really interested in that, because it's like I might open up a Discord for a Patreon, because I'm still figuring all this stuff out. Like it's only been since mid-December that I really started looking at, or like a little bit earlier, like halfway I started doing the let's make a short thing, because I thought it might seem like a good moment to get feedback, but then like I got this weird situation where like, yeah, it might be better to just put that in a video for feedback, and if you want to talk to me, I might open up a Discord channel, if you're a Patreon, where you can just talk to me, where I just like regularly visit, or at specific times, and we just kind of have a talk, and we just kind of chat about stuff. And even then, like, I might, like, if somebody has personal issues or just sends me a message, I might just do that more freely. That if you become a Patreon, you get privileges you get access to the Discord, where you can just talk to me, and if you have a personal issue, you can just talk to me. And I don't want to charge you $30 for that. I just want to, have a more community doing thing, and want to have more feasible stuff for the Patreon. So I'm still working on that, but that comes with the community. Because the 1 hour talks, like, I don't want to cut anybody off after 60 minutes, and I don't want to be like, yeah, your hour is over, like kind of therapist. And also, I don't want to force people to do that, like, or like force myself to do that. So now it's more of a libertarian way. I am gonna set up that Discord. I am gonna check how things go, and then, because now it's like, because I'm talking like to 10 people now, and I might just set up a Discord to just talk to you guys, because it's not a crowd at this moment. So I just want to spend time with you guys, and make some cool stuff. Who knows? Looking forward. Yeah, thanks. Please insert more coin. Okay. All right. I hope you enjoyed it. I really have to wrap this up, because it's 3 o'clock, and I have so much to do now. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and all the good stuff. I want to thank all my patrons, especially Sir Knight, Taylor Brown. You get a special mentioning for being a Sir Knight. You can also follow me on @gentingent, where I'll post the finished render later, after it went through some sort of Photoshop stuff. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.